Disaster strikes. I mean, we're literally in the middle of nowhere. It's very, very dark. The sun is nowhere to be seen, and we had a little bit of an accident.
This is Quizine in Pakistan.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Quizine TV, where we quiz the cuisine. This is our final episode of Quizine in Pakistan. As our adventure draws to a close, we were at pains to embrace our last few moments in this truly majestic place.
Out here? Cold. -10 today. Just close that before our room gets cold. Here we are. Out in Hunza. Atabad Lake. Just behind us. And these lovely lodges behind us are kept super warm, don't worry, in these harsh conditions. And just look at that. The view is absolutely phenomenal. Just picturesque.
In this episode, we make our way up to Khunjerab Pass, the Pakistan-China border. This border is a mountain pass that lies at an elevation of almost 5,000 meters above sea level. It sits between northern Pakistan and the southwest of China within its Xinjiang region. But let's just say our adventure didn't quite go to plan. A car crash on a remote mountain road in sub-zero temperatures renders our car useless, and the battle for survival begins. How will we escape these crippling conditions? Was this whole trip an entire mistake? Will this be the end of Quizine TV? All will be revealed in this episode, but to begin our story, we need to move back a few hours to the beginning of our day. The day began a fairly normal one, with a flavoursome breakfast and a magnificent view.
We're dealing with a very different style of breakfast, to be honest. We've got an array of curries.
Is it different though in Pakistan?
There's an array of curries, and then you've got intercontinental stuff. Do you know what I mean?
True.
And then you've got some chai, and then you've got some apricot juice. So very, very different to what I'm used to.
Oh, is that apricot juice? I thought it was orange juice.
Apricot, mate. I mean, they love the apricot, you know. You know what tastes different?
They love apricot here, mate. Apricot, freshly squeezed apricot juice.
So it's very, very different. I'll let you assess the curries, mate. My knowledge of curries is not.
Oh, isn't it?
I just tasted the chicken. Very good.
Chicken good?
No complaints, yeah.
I mean, it's
But then I'm not really going to go heavy in the curries.
breakfast at the hotel. There's really not anything around here. So when you come and stay in these kinds of resorts, lo and behold, you have to eat here. And you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The fruit spread here is quite good. Make fresh omelettes and waffles here as well. Oh yeah.
Oh, decent.
Freshly made paratha, super oily. A paratha, as you know, is a very common breakfast bread choice across South Asia. And you know, it's no different here. It's good.
It's a bit chilling there, mate.
What's that? Pakistani egg.
Pakistani omelette.
Then our journey began, with this being our last chance to hit the China-Pak border before having to leave Hunza. We decided to ignore the adverse weather conditions and get on the road north. We were hopeful if we travelled during daylight hours, we could be mindful of hazards and turn back if necessary. It would take us around 4 hours on the road to get to the border in these conditions. So on our journey went.
So quick stop off in the village of Sust,
en route. The
Sost Bazar.
Sost Bazaar.
Exactly.
Sost Market. It's a small little village en route, the China-Pak border, also known as
The Khunjerab Pass.
Khunjerab. And what's fascinating about this place is, look, no need for fridges here.
Freezing cold water.
The water is freezing cold anyway. You don't need a fridge here because we're in the mountains and it's only going to get colder.
Colder and colder, baby. Colder and colder.
Let's go.
But we survive.
But we survive. Right, guys, as we make our way closer and closer to the Pakistan-China border, Khunjerab Pass, there are a couple of layers of security that we need to pass. So we've just passed one. We've had to pay 20 USD per head to get through. And now we're in the Khunjerab National Park. And you're meant to see snow leopards here, some yaks, some ibexes, if you're lucky, which is like a large goat with some really big horns. But we're making our way through these very, very snowy roads to eventually get to the border. Yaki! Right, after a very, very treacherous journey up the mountains, about 3.5 hours, we have finally made it to the Pakistan-China border, Khunjerab Pass. Feelings and thoughts, Mahmoud?
Oh, mate, I don't know what's more treacherous, the journey or the surroundings. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. We thought it was going to be a little drive up the road because we went to the India border and it was literally a drive down the road, wasn't it?
It wasn't a joke, it wasn't a joke. The roads are very, very icy, snow, hardly any form of civilization, be it animals, be it humans, the occasional trade truck going past, but this is it, we're here, we're at the border, and it's now basically a race against time, really, to get out of here and avoid the dangerous mountain roads because the sun is about to set. But we like to keep things on the edge, don't we?
Very funny on Google Maps, like you see them, they're literally like this, like zigzag up the mountain. So doing that in these conditions at night, slightly daunting.
Far from ideal. Far from ideal.
We survive.
We do what we do. We live to tell the tale. What an absolute journey. What an adventure. Okay. It's gotten to a point where I can barely feel any part of my body. Oh my god. We've taken a pit stop at the border, no longer than 5 minutes, just to take a few pictures. As we were leaving, we see another car of Pakistanis who made the journey, and one of the ladies is really struggling with the altitude. You forget that we're very, very high up in the mountains. The altitude is not a joke. One wrong move and you could faint. So yeah, now we're turning the car around, making our way away from the border. Something striking about mountainous, high-altitude environments is just how quickly the surroundings can move from light to dark. The limited dwellings and infrastructure mean at sundown things become pitch black. We were conscious of this, but the snowy conditions meant we took longer than expected to make it to the border, and as a consequence, our descent became all the more dangerous at night. The race against time was on, and we were losing. That's when it happened.
Are you okay?
Our car spiraled off the icy road. By the grace of God, we didn't fall off the edge of the mountain, but we did smash into a steel barrier. The car sustained some serious damage, but the real concern was the tyre.
Situation. A bit of a sticky situation. Where are we? Disaster strikes. Disaster. Disaster strikes. I mean, we're literally in the middle of nowhere. It's very, very dark. The sun is nowhere to be seen, and we had a little bit of an accident. The car spun off the side of the road, smashed into one of these little bits of steel that exist, and we've lost our tyre. I think it was a tyre puncture that triggered the skid. Thankfully, we were in a part of the road where there wasn't too much of a ditch on the side of the road, so we didn't fall off a cliff, which is always good. But now I have no idea what we're going to do. I don't really know what the solution is. The car's not going to work.
He's got a spare tyre, so
Okay, spare tyre, we might have a little tyre change. We'll see what that means.
Our driver worked on replacing the damaged tyre, but it soon became apparent
need help?
he didn't really know what he was doing. Ill-equipped and inexperienced, we soon began doubting if this car would get us home.
Assalamu alaikum, we've broken down.
But then, a burst of hope. A group of men en route the local village of Sost come to our rescue. Spotting any car at this time on this route was challenging, but thankfully we found a group of kind souls able to help.
About half an hour or so into being stranded on the side of a mountain somewhere in Pakistan, it looks like our saviours may have arrived. There's literally hardly any cars coming up and down this road. You've got to remember, we're here in sort of mid-November when generally the tourism season starts to close down because of the heavy snow. But thankfully, there are a group of locals heading down, which pulled over, and now they
They seem to be in very high spirits, which I like.
Yep,
because we're in very high spirits as well. I don't know why.
I mean, for some reason we're in pretty high spirits, so it might progressively get worse. Anyway, they've pulled up, they've got like an automatic air pressure pump thing which they're going to fill up the tyre with, hopefully. We did have a spare tyre, but it looks like it was flat and had no air in it, so this could hopefully be the way we get through this. Let's see. So the support keeps on coming. Another car has now pulled up. Here he is. So he's not only just fixing our car and replacing our tyre, he's also now filming for me. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than this. Alhamdulillah, this is yet another display of the community spirit. This, yeah.
What happened? What happened?
We were just driving and then all of a sudden spin.
You cannot take a break, then you will slip, I think. You need time to slow. You are now okay?
Alhamdulillah, we're okay. Another display of the community here. I mean, it didn't take long for us to find, luckily, another vehicle, and immediately they jumped out to our rescue. If they weren't here, God knows what would have happened. Probably would have frozen to death by morning.
With our tyre successfully replaced, thankfully we were on our way again. We still had a lot of ground to cover before getting back to our hotel. Our spirits were high and the mood had shifted before disaster struck yet again.
Less than a few hundred meters, I'd say. This temporary tyre has lasted us, but it's just gone. So we find ourselves in the same problem now because we don't have a replacement tyre that's in any condition to work and get us to the closest town, Sust, which is at least a few kilometers away. Spirits were high temporarily.
They're still up there.
I mean, they're still high, but
they declined.
We thought we were on top of the world as soon as we found those guys on the side of the road who helped us. And literally within a matter of a few hundred meters,
Yeah, say less than a kilometre.
pop, our spare tyre went as well. Thankfully, this one was a bit more progressive. There was no skidding involved. There was no fear that we're going to fall off the edge of the cliff. But the reality of the situation is we're still in as much of an issue as we were before. But, you know, luckily, another car stopped behind us. Once again, people here running to our aid. I mean, you can't make this up, can you? This community spirit. People coming here with a smile on our face, even though we're fundamentally inconveniencing them, but they're doing everything they can to go above and beyond to help us. So this gentleman behind us has lent us his spare tyre, which they're now putting on, and hopefully that can get us up until at least Sust.
20 kilometres. About 15 kilometres.
About 15 kilometres away from here, and then hopefully to our location beyond that.
Serena. About 2 hours to 2.5 hours from Sust.
But we move on. We're alive and well.
Move on.
Alive and well.
It is what it is. All you can say. Thank the Almighty.
We are spare tyres back on, and we're now on the move. We're again trying to head to Sust for now. The plan has changed drastically. We were hoping to get to Hunza tonight. We're the Serena Altit Fort Hotel. We have a booking there, but it's looking less than likely that we're going to make it there. The suggestion now is to make it to Sust, the local village, see if a mechanic is around. If not, stay the night there and try and get the car and the tyres repaired in the morning. Thankfully, these guys behind us have helped us with the spare tyre, and they're now sort of tailing us as well to Sust, which is about 15-20 kilometers away, I believe. So yeah, let's see where the night takes us.
The journey felt treacherous, but our latest tyre proved to be robust. We took the decision to head all the way to our hotel back in Hunza. Thankfully, we made it to safety.
We have just checked into our hotel. Thankfully, we made it through the night on the nighttime roads. We're now in Serena Altit Fort. After the kind strangers replaced our replacement tyre, we managed to get to the village of Sust. It was about a 30 to 40 minute drive from where we were at the time. Thankfully made it there with the tyre. The integrity of the tyre was pretty robust, so once we got to Sust, we made the decision to continue our drive down to Hunza, which we did, and thankfully we've made it here safe and sound. So all in all, a very, very frightening, different experience, but it's a reminder, I guess, to all of us to be extra careful and extra vigilant when driving and moving around these mountainous areas, particularly this time of the year when it's more snowy and the roads can get a little bit more slippery. But thankfully we lived to tell the tale, and now we're going to go to sleep because it's quite late.
And that concludes our Pakistan series. We hope you enjoyed this epic adventure with us. Join us next time where we move our journey to paradise on earth.